Excuse me.
Back Home Media.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Kmu Live Podcast. I'm your host, Ricky Tabergi, and joining me again tonight is Janine Radke. How's it going, Janine?
Going great. How are you tonight?
Doing all right. Just kind of scanning this article I was reading this morning. I just pulled it up on my phone again because it's talking about the largest fentanyl bust in DEA history. They seized over 400 kilos of fentanyl in a record-shattering operation. It says it was multi-state. It's like it looks like involved Albuquerque and Mexico. They seized $610,000 in U.S. currency, 49 firearms, some with switches, and some ghost guns. 396 kilos of fentanyl, 11.5 kilos of fentanyl powder. The 396 kilos was fentanyl pills, 1.5 kilos of cocaine, 3.5 kilos of heroin, 7 pounds of meth. A Ford Raptor and GMC Denali, 2 vehicles valued at $140,000. Salem, Oregon, more than $2.8 million in U.S. currency. Jewelry valued at $50,000. Mercedes AMG and a Ford F-150 Shelby valued at approximately $150,000. And there's a photo of a bag just stuffed full of money, bundled in bundles. It's just crazy. Layton, Utah, $790,000 in currency. A Dodge TRX Mammoth valued at approximately $150,000. Phoenix, Arizona, approximately $390,000 in U.S. currency. 72 pounds of meth, 13 kilos of fentanyl pills, 2.4 pounds of heroin, and 5 kilos of coke. And then Las Vegas, Nevada, illegal alien apprehended and removed. More than $93,000 in U.S. currency, 2.7 kilos of coke, and a pound of meth. That's crazy.
Wow. Yeah, that's just an insane amount of everything.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it is just nuts. I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but here's a picture of one of the vehicles. I don't know if you can see it. I get the phone angle right here.
It gets around. Oh, right. Nope.
It's a red vehicle, and it's scrolled. It's not what I wanted. It's a red vehicle, and there's just like bags of fentanyl on it, bundles of cash. It's just crazy. That was the Santa Fe, New Mexico one. Just crazy.
How are you tonight?
Unbelievable.
That's just it is so scary to me anyway, just because, everywhere we get, everything you see with it, it just kind of absorbs.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad they made a big old bus like that. The more they can get off the streets, the better. I mean, so many people are ODing from that stuff. It's ridiculous.
Well, I know that they said everything around here that you get off the street is laced with fentanyl.
Oh, yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just way too much of a risk.
I just can't believe that they're just in the Salem, Oregon, $2.8 million in cash. That's insane.
I agree. It's an awesome job that they busted him, but yeah, that's just crazy.
Yeah, I was trying to think of any. I haven't really seen any big updates on any missing persons. Any of the big cases lately. Just it's been kind of quiet, but
yeah. Did you
trying
see
to keep my ears open?
Did you see that they pulled a car out of the lake over at Scott?
Oh, I did see that. I was reading about that this morning. They said that they weren't sure how long it had been in there, but there was like a Diet Pepsi can that was like from the 80s in it.
Yeah.
And they said there were no bodies in it. So
No, which is really good, but it does make you wonder how the car got there. I mean,
right.
Makes you wonder what else is under there too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. Hi, Esther.
Well, we'll go ahead and start the show. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Remember, share the show and potentially save a life. You're watching Kansas Missing and Unsolved. We'll be right back after this.
Part 1. Cold Cases, Stories Left Untold, Families Seeking Answers, and Justice Waiting in the Shadows. Together, we uncover the truth.
Ricky, real quick, I want to say that I accidentally forgot to really erase Michelle because she's been located. But also, I just wanted to point out last week, 135 missing children in the state of Kansas. This week, 151.
Oh, wow. And this was when we were talking about last week. You said you wanted to get on the show this week. So I made sure to get it on there. And my computer is giving me static. There we go. All right, Randy Leach. And you see, underneath the flyer, I put a couple photos of the car there, too. But Randy's missing from Linwood, Kansas since April 15th, 1988. He was 17 when he went missing. He's now 54. 6'3", 220 pounds, brown hair, blue eyes. He was reported on April 16th of 88. He had a 12:30 a.m. curfew at the time he vanished, and he usually honored it. He left his home at 6:30 p.m. to attend a friend's pre-graduation party in a rural area 5 miles east of their residence on April 15th, 1988. Before arriving at the party, he stopped at Stout's convenience store and purchased some candy, soda pop, and gas. He then talked to some friends. Then he went to DeSoto to check on the car he was restoring. As a result of these errands, Randy did not arrive at the party until between 9:30 and 10. His parents did not realize that he had not come home until they woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning on the 16th. They first thought he had been in a car accident and called one of his friends who said she hadn't heard from him. Randy's parents then contacted police. Investigators went to the site of the party Randy had attended, but they'd already had been already cleaned up and there was no evidence to be found. It was said that you couldn't even tell there was a party even held there. It was cleaned so well. Witnesses at the party believe Randy departed between 1:15 and 2 in the morning, but no one actually saw him leave. At the time he was last seen, he was too drunk to walk straight. Randy apparently left driving his mother's gray four-door 1985 Dodge sedan with Kansas plate number LBJ8721. He never returned home and has not been heard from again. He was carrying $50 cash at the time of his disappearance, and his vehicle has never been located. If you have any information regarding the disappearance of Randy Leach or know of his whereabouts, please call the Leavenworth County Sheriff's Office at 913-682-5724 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can get Randy located and back to his family. I know his dad's since has passed, but his mom's still hanging in there.
Yeah, he's been gone a long time. I mean,
Yeah.
1988 was a long time ago.
There's the car. And that's what the license plate would look like on the back of it at that time in 88. But and I know Dennis over at Muddy Waters Search and Recovery, he is trying to locate a vehicle like that because they want to do some testing with it. They want to put it in the river and see if it the current carries it, and if it does, how far it would carry it, and they want to bury it and other things to gather some other kind of data on it and see what they can maybe use that to help pinpoint where the car might be. So I know they're working on that.
To me, I think that finding the car and finding Randy, like that's obviously the number one focus. But whenever Adventures with Purpose did their little piece on there, like the one thing that stood out to me was that not only was like it seemed like the people that were in attendance at the party didn't want to talk to anybody, like nobody. It was almost like get out of our town. Whenever there's just that much secrecy around something, I immediately start getting nervous. Like this could be a big deal, you know, because especially with the barn being I've been to a lot of parties in my life. Never once did I say, "Hey, let's clean before we leave." You know what I mean? Like that's something you deal with in the afternoon, the next day, if that. So it's very odd.
Yeah, I mean, especially since they said it was clean so well that it didn't even look like anything had taken place there. So they must have done one heck of a job.
Yeah. Well, you know, there's to clean one thing, but to do that kind of deep cleaning is something completely different.
I haven't heard anything on Jalen Cottrell, but we are going to cover her flyer on the show. I do have it on the list to cover tonight. So,
yeah.
Okay.
So we have Haley Davis. She has been missing since July 21st of 2023 from Salina, Kansas. She left Salina with a male acquaintance to go to Wichita. She was last active on social media and last heard from on July 21st of that year. Wichita police say that the investigation has led them to believe that Haley may be deceased. She was 19 years old. She's now 20, 5'6" to 5'7" tall, weighs between 190 and 200 pounds. Her hair was last known to be dyed bleach blonde, and she has blue eyes. If you can see from the pictures above, you can see the different shades of hair, and with the glasses on, she looks a little bit different. If you have any information regarding Haley's disappearance, or you know of her whereabouts or the location of her remains, please call Detective Owen at 316-268-4185 or via email at aowen@wichita.gov. To remain anonymous, you can contact Crime Stoppers at 316-72111 or the KBI at 785-296-017 or at 800-572-7463. It's a very good point to, you know, show that you can remain anonymous when you make tips. You call in with information. So if you're somebody that doesn't feel safe, you know, calling in, you can call in anonymously, and you wouldn't have to worry about that.
Right.
I know Cake did a story on Haley a week ago that was kind of, you know, concerning for anybody that's wanting to find her, you know, safe and sound. Can you kind of elaborate on what Cake went over last week?
Basically, they had just basically reported what the Wichita Police Department had on their Facebook page, and it was just, you know, that they're still trying to find her, and they basically said the same thing. Investigations led them to believe that Haley's no longer alive. You know, it's a sad thing. Like I said, you know, I mentioned it countless times. I went to the vigil they had for Haley last summer, and you know, it was just a sad thing. I mean, there was a lot of tears shed, a lot of stories told. You know, I talked to her brother, her aunt, saw her little boy, saw a lot of other people that were there, and just a lot of people want answers and want her home. You know, and there's definitely an anonymous way that somebody can make that happen by calling that Crime Stoppers number, that 316-267-2111, and get that information in. You know, and get her brought home. It's been going on too long.
Yeah, hopefully they find something, at least get some information so they can figure out what's gone on.
Yeah. There's another Salina case. It's Catherine Adam. I gotta locate her flyer in my list. And there it is. Missing from Salina, Kansas since April 29th, 1993. 35 when she's been missing. She's now 67. 5'4", 120 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. She was last seen at 4:30 in the morning on April 29th, 1993 at the Quick Shop convenience store on the 1700 block of West Crawford in Salina. She drove a white full-size Ford van with "She Has Legs" written on the sides. Her van turned up abandoned at 5:45 p.m. the next day at Russell's Restaurant in the 600 block of West Point Boulevard on the north side of the building. The restaurant was closed for remodeling at that time. The van was spattered with mud on the lower portion of the outside and blood soaked on the inside. A large amount of blood was also found at a storage unit in West Salina where Catherine, a saleswoman for the Legs Hosiery Company, picked up her stock each day. There's no sign of her there or at the restaurant, and she's never been heard from again. Police speculate someone attacked Catherine when she went inside the storage shed. It appeared that she was interrupted in the process of loading the merchandise into her van, leaving the door of the unit open. Catherine was separated from her husband at the time of her disappearance, and in one article that I had read stated that he had been extensively questioned and cleared in her case. And they did have a teenage daughter together. Her case remains unsolved and foul play is suspected. If you have any information regarding Catherine's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Salina, Kansas Police Department at 785-826-7210 or Crime Stoppers at 785-825-8477 or text SA Tips to Crimes 274-637 or go to www.pd.salina.org and follow the Crime Stoppers link to submit a tip that way. Or you can call KBI at 785-296-4017 or 1-800-572-7463 and see what we can do to help get her located and back to where she needs to be with her family. And, we've talked about it extensively. I don't know if we have it still in the lineup over there, but that picture of Catherine on the left in the blue Kansas City Royals jacket that was taken at that quick shop that morning as she was backing out the door with a newspaper in one hand and coffee in the other to head back out to her van to leave to go out to the storage shed. So last picture ever taken right there.
Wow. Her van is very unique. I mean, that's not something you see every day, definitely with that, but
right.
Yeah.
You would think there would have been reports of people seeing it here or seeing it there. I think I read one newspaper report where they saw it like out around on the Burma Road area somewhere that day or the day after she went missing. So, and that was checked out by police. I don't know if they ever found anything because they never said, no disrespect to our police department, but it seems like with our police department, less is more as far as information goes. The less they put out, the better they like it. Like I said, no disrespect. It's just the way it seems to be.
It's really hard sometimes because sometimes if they would give a little bit more information on some of those cases, the things that they're looking for, then maybe it would be easier for people to pick up on some of those details and be able to give some information. Sometimes those things, you hear something and it kind of perks a memory of something that you see or hear.
Yeah,
I don't know. I can see it both ways. I can see not wanting to release information to derail an investigation, but.
Right.
This is Lori Heimer. She has been missing since June 25th of 2016 from a stereo.
Actually, she's an unsolved homicide.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Missed the top. Unsolved homicide in Assyria, Saline County, Kansas. She was brutally murdered in her rural Assyria, Kansas home. She ran her business, Lori's Poodle Patch, from her home. She was a licensed breeder of miniature-sized poodles and was licensed through the state of Kansas. The KBI was contacted to assist Saline County sheriffs in the investigation. They responded with agents and their crime scene response team. During the investigation, 2 vehicles of interest were developed. Vehicle number 1 was said to be an older flatbed pickup truck. Possibly it was a Chevrolet, which was described as beat up, maroon in color with a white front bumper, silver grille, and wide style side mirrors. The driver was described as a man who was 50 years of age or older with salt and pepper hair. The second vehicle was an older style, smaller pickup, possibly a Chevrolet S10 with 2-tone paint job, which was dark blue on top and the bottom with light blue in the middle, a silver back bumper, and a newer blue tailgate that appeared to have had minimal damage when compared to the body of the truck. The remainder of the vehicle is described as beat up and scratched up. There may have been 2 animal cages or crates in the back of the truck. The driver of this second vehicle was described as a white male, approximately 40 years of age, with shoulder-length hair, and saying he wore glasses. Investigators have said they would like to locate these 2 vehicles. They would also like to speak to anyone they had contact with or a business appointment with Heimer at any time between June 20th and June 25th of 2016. If you have any information regarding the homicide of Lori J. Heimer, please call the Salina County Police Sheriff's Department, at 785-826-6500 or the KBI at 800-572-7463. There is a reward of $37,500, and it's currently being offered for information that leads to the arrest and conviction of the persons responsible for Lori's murder. If you can see down in the right of the flyer, you can see the playing cards that have been distributed with information on her homicide on it. The cards are distributed in jails and prisons to see if they can generate more tips and information from the cases that are involved on the cards.
Yep. Hopefully they do a second debt.
Yeah, that would be great. I really wish they would distribute them for more than just the jails and prisons.
Right. I mean, I know why they do it. I mean, they're trying to see if maybe any of the inmates may know something, and maybe encourage them to talk, because inmates are with, they'll give up information if it means they can get a lighter sentence or time taken off their sentence, or things of that nature. So
yeah,
I think maybe that's what they're hoping for.
Yeah, I think so. That sometimes, though, people that are on the outside that aren't locked up, then you can see some of that information, and they may be able to bargain before they ever get to jail, before they have that information. Or you never know, somebody may see something that just doesn't have that. But yeah, I get the point behind it, which is great.
Right. Now, if you Google the Kansas cold case playing cards, it'll take you to the Kansas Department of Corrections website, and there is a link on there. It's a PDF file that you can click onto, and you can view the entire deck on that file. So it is publicly accessible that way.
Yeah, I can see that. I think that's a good part, but sometimes having the deck of cards is handy.
Yeah, it is. And let's see. This one's Elia Kirby. I'm missing from here in town since Salina, Kansas. It's March 27th of this year. She's 19, 5'6", 125 pounds, dark brown black hair, brown eyes. She planned on traveling to Wichita with an unknown female. That's unclear if she made it to her destination. And she's 19, 5'6", 125 pounds, dark brown, black hair, and brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Elia's disappearance, her whereabouts, please call the Salina, Kansas Police Department at 785-826-7210 or KBI at 785-296-4017. See what we can do to get Elia located and make sure she's all right.
Yeah, she hasn't been gone very long, so it'd be nice. Well, no, I take that back. March 27th, she's been gone over a month.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with Janine. I think those playing cards should be annual, and I think they should be out in the public too. Whoever came up with that, they get 2 high fives from Derek Rutherford.
Right. I love the concept. I think it's great. Just be nice to be able to distribute them more widely.
Yeah, I would love to that would be great. A lot of people play cards, a lot of people still play cards, and it's I'd love to see Ricky's flyers or all that stuff all over the place,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and if you're people like we are, Mike and I, every time we go someplace different, we get a deck of cards.
Right.
So, I mean, because we kind of collect them. So I think that, just having them out there would be great to have.
Yeah. I think this is in reference to Randy Leach's case, asking maybe Justice for Cynthia and Ray Gonzalez, asking maybe it's in a river embedded in water around that area. Did they search ponds, lakes, and etc.? I know they've done water searches in the past. There is one property that they want to get onto to search a pond on that property, but for whatever reason, the property owners will not allow them to search that pond. Do not know why. but for some reason they just will not let anybody search that pond.
That's kind of strange.
Yeah.
It could be something completely innocent, or it could be something.
Yeah.
Is there a way to? I know that you can, but I know that the technology is there, but like I don't know if you can just do it willy nilly. But you can do like sonar searches, right? Like from the air.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm
I
sure
don't
there's
know.
a way to figure out to just use science to see if there's anything weirdly like shaped like a vehicle in a pond.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't know though. I barely graduated.
And Justice for Cynthia also says put the cards in bars as well. People tend to talk when drinking. That's true.
That is very true.
That's true. People do tend to loosen up when they get that liquid courage in them.
That's absolutely true. This is Melissa Jean Bingham, missing from Wichita, Kansas, since March 30th, 2025. She is 25 years old. She is 4'9" to 5'1", weighs 120 pounds, has brown hair that's dyed platinum blonde, with hazel eyes. She frequents and went missing from the Broadway area of Wichita. She frequents the hotels in that area. Melissa is known to wear wigs of different colors. Her ears are pieced, and she has a hoop piercing in her nose. She has love tattooed across the knuckles of her left hand and lust tattooed across the knuckles of her right hand. She also has other tattoos as well, and you can see those pictures below. If you have any information regarding Melissa's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-268-4181, or you call 316-268-4111 or 316-263-6011. You can also contact the KBI at 785-296-4017.
Yeah.
And hopefully they can figure out what's happened with her.
Yeah, hopefully. That would be nice. And I haven't heard anything new on Wanda's case. I've been keeping track on, there's a Bring Wanda Home Facebook page or group, and I've been checking in on that for any kind of new information or anything, and so far nothing. But Wanda's missing from Lawrence, Kansas since March 21st of this year. She's 74, 5'2", 117 pounds, black and gray hair and brown eyes. She was last seen in Eudora, Kansas, outside of Zeb's Coffee House on March 21st at 7:18 p.m., which was confirmed by a photo. Wanda does suffer from dementia and does experience confusion and memory issues. It's believed she may be heading east, possibly to the Kansas City area. My understanding is she used to live in the Kansas City area one time, so it's kind of felt like maybe she's trying to get back to that area. Again, she's 74. She's 5'2", 117 pounds, black and gray hair and brown eyes. She was believed to be wearing a black jacket with a pink lining or pink hoodie. You can see in that center picture without the glasses there. And she multicolored pants and carrying a backpack and a floral pattern bag. And you can see the two photos on the far right. That's what she would have been wearing when she went missing. So and she may still be wearing that outfit. I'm not sure. But if you have any information regarding Wanda's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Lawrence, Kansas Police Department Dispatch at 785-843-0250 or KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can help get Wanda located. I know she's got a husband that's worried sick about her. So we can do to get her found and back home.
You know, this is one case that, and they all tug at my heartstrings, but this is one case that just really gets me. I mean, it just it makes my heart just really hurt.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's been over a month. Still no sightings since that one at Zeb's Coffee House there. Nothing, just nothing.
Yeah. At one point, didn't they think that maybe she had gotten into a car?
And there was some comment made that maybe she was picked up by somebody, and that is a possibility. Don't know for sure.
But that wasn't confirmed, was it?
No, that I'm aware of, no.
Yeah. This is Charles Everett McHenry III. missing from Great Bend since May 6th of 2016. At the time of his disappearance, he was 27 years old. He was now 36. He's 6'2", weighs 180 pounds, with black hair and black eyes. He was last known to be driving an unknown make two-door black car away from a house in the 500 block of Northwest 20 Avenue between Hoisington and Great Bend, Kansas. He was last seen to be wearing a black t-shirt with denim shorts. He has a tattoo on his left arm that you can see in the pictures above. One is of the cross, and it says Tyler on his upper arm, and an eagle with a flag on the lower arm that's also pictured above. His eyebrow and left ear are pierced. He has a large scar near his left knee and a large scar on the right arm from the elbow to the wrist. Another scar on his right knee, a scar on the forehead, scars on both sides of the ribs, a scar on the bottom of left foot, and a dimple or dip in his left bicep. He has a plate in the right arm from elbow to wrist and 2 screws in his left knee. If you have any information regarding Charles's disappearance, or you happen to know of his whereabouts, you can contact the Great Bend, Kansas Police Department at 620-793-4120, or contact the KBI at 785-296-4017. Make sure that anything that you think about, even doesn't matter how small, could be helpful in this case. So please don't hesitate to call it in or contact those numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Queenie.
Sure. Hey, Queenie. Yeah, we all hope they find Wanda safe. It's becoming a very concerning, scary situation, being that it's been over a month and no sightings, no word, no nothing. And there was there was a Bring Wanda Home. I don't know if it's a page or a group on Facebook that they keep everybody pretty well updated. So that's a group or a page to follow. Definitely do it. I mean, I do. I look at it every day.
Yeah, I need to go in and follow that page, that group.
All right.
Yep. Don't forget to share the show. Hit that like button. Get the information out to as many people as you possibly can.
Yeah, definitely. And if you're watching on the YouTube end of it, definitely subscribe to the YouTube channel and share it out on the YouTube channel as well. The more people we can get in on this, the better chances we can get some of these people located.
Yeah.
And this is Kyle Neugebauer, missing from Wichita, Kansas since December 17, 2024. He's 26, 6 foot tall, 155 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. He's last seen near 143rd and Highway 254 in Wichita. Again, he's 26, 6 foot tall, 155 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. Last seen wearing a black Carhartt jacket, jogging pants, and tennis shoes. If you have any information regarding Kyle's disappearance, of his whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-268-4181 or 316-268-4111 or 316-263-6011 or KBI at 785-296-4017. See what we can do to get Kyle located and back to where he needs to be. I know on the 18th of this month, they are going to be having a vigil at that location, 143rd and Highway 254, that afternoon. I believe all are welcome. So if you're interested in attending that, they've invited me to come down for that. I have a prior engagement that day, so I won't be able to make it. I need to let them know that too. Otherwise, I'd love to be there. They're going to have, they've invited all the TV stations around Wichita to be there and things of that nature. So see how it goes.
Maybe that'll generate some more tips for, bringing some more awareness to see if anybody knows anything or can give some, ideas of some things.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Justice for Cynthia Renee Gonzalez. I need to do that as well. Looking for that.
Yeah.
Karen Stratton, have you ever covered Jody Ledkins?
We've covered her in the past. I haven't done it recently. I can get her worked back in. It's not a problem.
Yeah, that would be an interesting one to cover
Yeah,
too.
I'll have to see what kind of updates I can make to her flyer and get it on there. Now, Karen, aren't you Jody Lutkin's mom? Let's see here.
Is she?
I think she is. Oh, there's one.
She's been found, you said?
And there
Yeah.
it is. I just put the link to that Bring Wanda Home group in the comments there, but I believe Karen Stratton is
Yes.
Jody Lutkin's mom, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, she is. She just
Okay.
replied yes.
Okay, I thought so. Yeah, Karen, we'll definitely get her on the show for next week. I need to look and see what updates I need to make, and then I can make sure I have everything accurate. So when I do cover her next week, it'll be accurate. But we have covered her. It's been quite some time. We do need to get her back in the show, though.
Okay, we have Kimberly Barnes missing from Hutchinson, Kansas since June 28th of 2024. At the time of her disappearance, she was 57 and she is now 58. She's 5'8" tall, weighs 200 pounds, and has blonde and gray hair with brown eyes. She has bipolar and schizophrenic disorders and has been without her medication. She also does suffer from substance abuse disorders or issues. She's not stable to be out on her own. It's also reported that she does not have any money with her. She does wear eyeglasses occasionally. Again, she is 57 years old, or was 57, now is 58. Is 5'8" tall, weighs 210 pounds. If you have any information regarding her disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Hutchinson, Kansas Police Department at 620-694-2800 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. Let's see if we can get her back home.
And you're welcome, Karen. Definitely.
Yeah, please excuse my issues with reading and getting those today. For some reason, it all looks blurry. And so I feel like I'm squinting to read everything, or maybe I just need to have stronger bifocals. I'm not quite sure.
Your glasses could be dirty. My glasses are brand new and they get dirty. I've gotten to where I carry around one of those glasses cleaners. We're going to find a one of those glass cleaner people to sponsor this show this week, and this will never happen. I can't see anything either, Janine. You're all good.
Oh, I've known I need to get them switched anyway, but it's like tonight it's really bad. I don't know.
Well, mine are brand new, but still, I just noticed, like, since you said that, they're just, I take them off and look at them, they're filthy. Like, I'm just like, how could anybody see through these things? But this is our last cold case file. Then we got 2 more segments. Please share the show, save a life. Ricky's going to tell you all about John Jensen. Usually his daughter's hanging out with us. I don't know if she's in there tonight, but Ricky, let them know about Jonathan.
I
haven't seen her in the comments yet. So, but yeah, this is John Jensen, missing from Kerwin, Kansas since June 14, 2023. He's 52 when he went missing. He's now 54, 5'11", 190 pounds, brown hair, hazel eyes. He left without his vehicle, his cell phone, or his wallet. His daughter does tell us that he does have some mental health issues and does occasionally have episodes. He was 52 when he went missing. He's now 54, 5'11", weighs 190 pounds, has brown hair and hazel eyes. If you have any information regarding Jonathan's disappearance, you know of his whereabouts, please call the Phillips County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 785-543-6885 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. See what we can do to get John located and back home to his daughter. I know she's really wanting him home. So let's see what we can do to help her out.
Yeah, I know she's worried sick about him. So
And again,
hopefully we'll be able to find him somewhere.
Yeah, hopefully. And again, I put the link to the Bring Wanda Home group in the comments there. So if anybody's looking for it, I put it in the comments so you can find it.
All right, you're watching Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast. Here is some other cold cases that we would love for you to pay attention to for the next 60 seconds, and we'll be back talking about some endangered runaways. Be right back.
Part 2. Endangered Runaways, Young Lives at Risk, Stories that Demand Attention, and a Race Against Time. Together we can make a difference.
Okay. Here we have Gabriella Gabby Kilgore, missing from Great Bend, Kansas since April 24th of 2025. She is 16 years old, 5'3", weighs 100 pounds, with red and auburn hair and with green eyes. If you have any information regarding Gabriella's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Barton County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 620-793-1876 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. Let's see if we can get her found. I know her family has to be worried sick about her.
Yeah, I have a cousin who lives in Great Bend, and he got a hold of me the other day and was asking me about the address of another young gal that's supposedly missing over there, but I can't find anything to indicate she is missing. But somebody I've done a flyer for before, but unfortunately I didn't have that address. But he is helping Gabby's family try to find her. So
Yeah,
didn't realize that until I got a hold of me that I had a cousin helping trying to find her over there. So
I didn't realize Great Bend had over 14,000 residents. That's pretty big.
Wow, I didn't either.
Yeah, I think it's grown over the past several years. But yeah.
You said they've had some leads and some tips, but nothing's panned out yet. So hopefully they can get her located. And this one is Heather Johnson. She's missing from Kansas City, Kansas since May 4th of this year, just for a couple of days or so. 17 years old, 5'5", 205 pounds. Brown hair was last known to be dyed red and blue eyes. It's believed that she may be in the Topeka, Kansas area. Again, if she's 17 years old, 5'5", weighs 205 pounds. Actually, that's what I was given, but I was corrected and told it's closer to 230. She has brown hair that was last known to be dyed red and blue eyes. If you have any information regarding Heather's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Wyandotte County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 913-573-2861. or 913-596-3000, or the KBI at 785-296-4017, and see what we can do to get her located and back to where she needs to be.
Do you have any idea what the, do you have any idea what the connection might be with where she's at?
Well, in Topeka, you mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't. I was just told she might be in Topeka. I don't know if she has friends there, family there, or what. But I think they seem to think that she might be there. So, get this flyer shared everywhere from Kansas City to Topeka and everywhere in between. See if we can't get her found.
I think that's an important piece. Also, when I was a kid, like when I was 17, you could either find me in Elkhart, Boise City, or Guyman, which is 45 miles apart, but you do want to know why. Anytime you see a missing from and then might be in another town, you kind of knowing why they were there might help.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do they have friends there? Is there another family member there that maybe they don't get along with? I mean, there could be a variety of reasons.
Right.
So this is Jesse Kenworthy Jr., missing from Parsons, Kansas since May 6th, 2025. So it's just been a day out. He's 15 years old, is 5'8", weighs 149 pounds, with black hair and dark brown eyes. He is without his needed medication, so that's a big concern. He was last seen wearing a white shirt, a blue Kansas City Royals hoodie, which is pictured on the far right picture above, jeans, and multicolored Nike shoes. If you have any information regarding Jesse's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Parsons, Kansas Police Department at 620-421-7060 or 620-421-7057, or you can contact the KBI at 785-296-4017. Let's see if we can catch him wherever he's at and be able to get him back home.
I know there's been a couple of sightings that were messaged or commented on his flyer, and I relayed those along, so hopefully they have a general idea of where to look for him. So we'll see. And justice for Cynthia and Renee Gonzalez was like last week. The young girl from Overbrook met a guy online, makes you wonder. Yeah, and I did another flyer for another young lady that was missing out of Quapaw, Oklahoma. Thankfully, she's been located safe, but she had met a guy online from Minnesota, and what was his name? I can't remember his name now. I can't think of it, but they did finally find her, and they did take him into custody. So he is sitting in jail on numerous charges right now.
And that is not a new problem. I don't remember. It had to be 2001. Girl in Garden City met a guy online. They found her at a hotel there. So long ago. Like, this is not a new problem.
No, it's not a new problem at all. There was another young lady in El Dorado. She was 12, and she had been talking to a guy in Canada. He drove down from Canada, picked her up, and by the time they caught up to him, they'd made it back up to Michigan, and he had made it known the only reason he was coming down is because he wanted to be with her, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, that one that Derek was talking about that was in Garden City, she was murdered by the guy that she was meeting there and left under a bed, which was such a sad situation. But yeah, people get online, they get on Tinder, they get on, all of those things, and you never really know who you're talking to unless you figure out a safe way to do it. But
I tell people with online dating, treat it like you're buying a toaster from Marketplace. Meet somewhere public where there's a bunch of people that can hear you yell, just in case.
Absolutely.
Now, initially, I don't release the names of the adult males unless the police department do. So like with the girl from Quapaw, I did not initially put his name on the flyer, but as soon as I seen the sheriff's office released it to the media, I updated the flyer and put his name and photo on the flyer. So, and there's my younger daughter there. Says, hi, I'm late. I had to take a friend home.
Your younger daughter drives?
Yeah, she's 18. She's almost 19.
That just made my skin crawl. I remember when she. Oh, yeah. Okay, we're old, Rick. We're old. Okay.
Oh, I know. I mean,
little girl used to talk during the podcast.
Especially when she was, I still think of her like this sometimes as 13 months old.
Well, 5 years ago, I remember she's been 13 ever since I met her. You're telling me there's a 13-year-old driving? Call the police right now. Horrible situation. Raylene Reed, Wichita, Kansas, another endangered missing runaway.
Yes. She's been missing since May 1st of this year. She's 17 years old, 5'2", weighs 120 pounds with black hair and brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Raylan's disappearance, or you know of anywhere that she could be, call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9456 or 316-660-9254 or at 316-263-6011, or you can contact the KBI at 785-296-4017. Let's get Raylan home safe and sound. And I cannot see or read or talk today. Maybe it's not the glasses. Maybe it's just me.
Has it been raining nonstop where you are? Because it's been gloomy here for 48 hours.
I've spent the last few days in rain, and so yeah, it's been gloomy. The sun kind of came out this afternoon.
We're still waiting for that sun over here in Elkhart.
I'll send it over your way.
There you go.
Too.
Jalen Cottrell, they were asking if you had any updates. Yeah. That's the one.
Yeah, my brother was.
Oh, okay.
My daughter's saying no, not the baby photo. Hey, I could always go get the one off the living room wall where you're like, I'm holding you when you're a day old and you're flipping the bird at the camera. I could always grab that one. Let's see here. Where's it? Jalen Cottrell. Okay, she's missing from Wichita, Kansas since April 22nd, 2025. 17 years old. She's 5'1", 115 pounds. Red or auburn hair and hazel eyes. She went missing about 6:45 the evening of the 22nd of April. If you have any information regarding Jalen's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9456 or 316-660-9254 or 316-263-6011 or KBI at 785-296-4017 and see what we can do to get Jalen located and back to where she needs to be. I keep hoping I can come up with some other photos of her besides just that one. My brother, apparently a friend of his, him and his wife, I don't know if they foster, and were foster parents to her or what, but she would frequent their house and they know her, and my brother knows her. And he sent me an older profile of hers for pictures of her. They're like 2 or 3 years old. And I thought, a little bit too old to use, but I'd like to get some other photos besides that one.
Just give some different views of her to see.
Yeah, and I took that one. I showed, use the actual one with the long hair to show how long her hair is, and then I zoomed it in to get in tighter on her face. But with the tongue sticking out, it makes it kind of hard. I was sent one other one, but if I remember correctly, the other one was sent. She had it was a cell phone selfie in a mirror, and the phone was obstructing most of her face, so that one wasn't usable.
Real quick, another child missing in the state of Kansas, 152 currently missing children, 343 adults.
Just never ends.
It's way too many.
I'm wondering, because that's a big, usually when I change the numbers each week, it's like five or six at most, but as many as it was tonight, I'm wondering if it has anything to do with school being almost out. Like
that could, yeah.
We moved our kids out of the school they're going to, and the school that we're enrolling them in was like, there's only 4 days left, so just tell them summer started and we'll see them in 3 months. Like, school's over. Like, even the school's like, we're not going to do anything for the next 5 days. Like, we're just going to watch movies and take some tests and stuff. But yeah, I think it's officially that time of year where school's kind of over, and even parents are like, I don't have to drive to the school twice a day. People are getting a little restless.
Yeah.
Well,
and people tend to move to when school starts getting out, and then when school starts again, then people kind of get a little bit more settled, or they're trying to get settled. And I know with some of the younger kids that some of that is, I've seen that happen quite a bit with families.
Yeah. Yeah, we can get Cynthia's case on next week. That's not a problem. I need to make notes. Where's my scratch paper? Oh, right there.
Yeah, if I don't have a note, it doesn't happen.
Right.
My brain does not function like that any longer.
I hear you.
So, this is Shelby McDaniel, missing from Kansas City, Kansas. She's been missing since March 26th of 2024. At the time of her disappearance, she was 16 years old, and she's 17 years old now. She's 5'5" tall, weighs 164 pounds, with blonde, white hair and blue eyes. It is believed that she is in the New York area. She also has ties to Crestline, Kansas, Columbus, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. At the time of her disappearance, again, she was 16 years old. She's now 17, 5'5" tall, and weighs 164 pounds. Blonde and white hair that was last known to be dyed brown with blue eyes. She also has chipped teeth on the upper right side, and you can see that up in the picture, clear up on the top of the flyer on the right side. And it also reflects her hair color now. If you have any information regarding Shelby's disappearance, or of her whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department at 913-596-3000 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. Let's see if we can find her. That's quite a range of places that she could be.
Right. And that, like you were mentioning, that photo up there on the far right, it was digitally altered to show the hair color and the chipped teeth. And it's one of those things where AI can be useful if used in the right way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And Justice for Cynthia Gonzalez is saying, thank you. I'll share more about it then. You're very welcome.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there's another one we've been covering quite often. Benita aka Jaden Elaine Wallace, missing from Kansas City, Kansas since October 11th, 2022. 15 when she was missing. She's now 17. 5'5", 130 pounds. Brown hair that was last known to be dyed black and red, and brown eyes. It was believed she may still be in the Kansas City, Kansas area. Again, she was 15 when she was missing. She's now 17, 5'5", 130 pounds. Time of her disappearance, her hair was, of course, brown. It was dyed black and red. Red had faded, and the underside of her hair was shaved, and she has brown eyes. Has a small tattoo of 2 small triangles on the upper right arm and a birthmark on the back of her right leg. I finally was able to get that photo of the tattoo. She was last seen wearing a pink and blue hoodie and blue jeans. If you have any information regarding Benita's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department at 913-596-3000 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see what we can do to get Benita located and back to where she needs to be. And on the flyer, I did add National Center for Missing and Exploited Children's latest age progression photo that they did for her. It's age progressed to 17 years, so that's what they feel like she would look like at 17. So let's, again, see what we can do to help get her located and back to where she needs to be.
All right, you're watching Kansas Missing and Unsolved. In the Free Zone with Norm is next. We have one more segment. We'll be right back after this.
Part 3. Out-of-state cases. Beyond Kansas borders, stories of the lost and the unsolved remind us that every missing voice deserves to be heard.
Okay, this is Amani Tolliver Jones, missing from Belton, Missouri. Missouri. I'm just going to make up my own states. She's been missing since May 5th of 2025. She's 17 years old, 5'2" tall, 107 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. She's known to frequent the Raytown, Missouri area. She was last seen wearing a red t-shirt and gray shorts. If you have any information regarding Amani's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call Detective Krostowski with the Belton, Missouri Police Department at 816-331-1500 or the Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178 or 866-362-6422. Let's see if we can get Amani home.
Oh, yeah, definitely. All right. And this is another Heimer case here. This one is Nicole Heimer. And for those of you that may not have been on the show with us last week, Nicole Heimer is actually Lori Heimer's niece. I'm trying to locate Nicole's flyer in my run here. There it is. She's missing from Missoula, Montana since April 15, 2025. She is 42. She's 5'11", 150 pounds, brown hair, hazel eyes. She was reported missing after her vehicle was discovered at the trailhead off Sawmill Gulch Road in the Upper Rattlesnake area. There is significant concern for her well-being. And she's 42. She's 5'11", weighs approximately 150 pounds, has brown hair and hazel eyes. Missoula, Montana police urges anyone who frequents the Upper Rattlesnake trailheads or Sawmill Gulch Road area and may have seen anything suspicious or relevant to contact them immediately. If you have any information regarding Nicole's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call Detective Ethan Smith with the Missoula, Montana Police Department at 406-552-6335 and see if we can't get Nicole located and back to where she needs to be.
Yeah, it's odd that there's two in the same family
Yeah.
that are missing. It's very interesting.
Oh, here's a quick update on Amani. She's been located and she is safe.
Wonderful. That's fantastic.
Yeah. I was just checking on Belton, Missouri's police department there.
Yeah. This is Dana Jane Bruce, missing from Sedalia, Missouri, since October 4th of 2008. At the time of her disappearance, she was 23 years old. She is now 39. She's 5'2" tall, weighs 98 pounds, with brown hair and green hazel eyes. Dana was last seen at her children's babysitter's home in Sedalia, Missouri. She left the children there earlier that day so that she could go out for the evening. She came back at midnight and gave the babysitter some more money and then asked her to watch the children for the rest of the night. She was seen at the Malone Bar on Main Street with a young man driving a late model red Ford F-150 truck earlier in the night of her disappearance, and she left with the man at 11:30 p.m. Police have identified the man that Dana was with on the night she vanished. He traveled to Atlanta, Georgia after her disappearance, and police questioned him about Bruce after he arrived there on unrelated charges of marijuana possession and driving on a suspended license. Authorities haven't named him publicly, but they are calling him a person of interest in her case. He told his questioner that he and Dana parted ways after they left the bar and that he had never seen her after that. She left all of her belongings behind, including her hairbrush and toothbrush. She doesn't have any credit cards, debit cards, a checking account, a cellular phone, or a car. Again, at the time of her disappearance, she was 23. She would now be 39. She is 5'2" tall, weighs 98 pounds, with brown hair that was colored brown at the roots and black on the ends with red highlights. And she has green hazel eyes. She was last known to be wearing a black shirt with the word rebel and silver lettering on the front and blue jeans. She has a tattoo of a teddy bear with wings and the name Dylan on her upper left arm. You can see that up on the pictures at the top of the flyer. She is blind in her left eye. She has a 2-inch scar along her lower spine and a staple scar on her right shoulder. Her ears are pieced on one time in each ear. If you have any information regarding Dana's disappearance, or you happen to know of her whereabouts, please call the Sedalia, Missouri Police Department at 660-827-7823 or 660-826-800 or MAHEP at 573-626-6178, or you can call toll free at 866-362-6422, or you can also contact private investigator Leslie at 910-427-0070.
Yeah, her case is. Oh, go ahead.
Hopefully, this will be able to help generate some tips.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Hey, we're gonna play Located Safe for real. Ricky's gonna pray. We gotta get out of here. I'm 3 minutes late. We'll be right back after this.
All right. Well, thank everybody tonight for joining us and hanging with us while we do these cases this evening. And, hopefully we can get, some of these cases solved and people home and things of that nature. And just want to say, Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together tonight so we can go over these cases. And as always like to pray that, these cases will reach the right ears, the right heart to do the right thing. I'm a firm believer that somebody knows something. It's just a matter of speaking to their hearts and them doing the right thing, and pray that they will. And I just pray that until we see each other again next week, everybody stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy. God bless, and amen.
Amen.
Kmu Media.